Mastering English with Movies. Learn real English the fun way. Learning English through movies is one of the most exciting and powerful ways to master the language, especially when you want to sound natural and understand real-life conversations. Unlike textbooks or grammar exercises that often feel dry and mechanical, movies offer a living, breathing world of English in its most authentic form. From romantic comedies and gripping thrillers to documentaries and animated adventures, each genre opens a new window into how people actually speak, think, and express emotions in English. This immersive method is not only enjoyable, but also incredibly effective when approached with the right strategy. First, let's understand why movies are so useful for English learners. When you watch a movie, you're not just hearing English, you're experiencing it. You see facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, social settings, slang, idioms, sarcasm, and emotions, all of which are essential for real communication. It's like entering a new world where English is alive and vivid. You begin to associate words with emotions, sentences with actions, and expressions with real human situations. This is a learning method that engages your brain on multiple levels, making it easier to retain and recall what you learn. But not all movie watching leads to effective learning. If you simply watch a movie from beginning to end like a native speaker, you might enjoy the story, but you'll miss the deeper learning opportunities. To truly benefit, you need to become an active learner while watching. This means choosing the right movies, using subtitles wisely, repeating scenes, taking notes, and focusing on specific language points. Let's start with choosing the right kind of movies. For beginners or intermediate learners, it's best to avoid fast-paced action films or complex dramas with heavy vocabulary. Instead, go for family films, animations, or romantic comedies that use simple everyday language. Next, let's talk about subtitles. Many learners feel guilty using subtitles, but there's no shame in it. In fact, subtitles can be your best friend if used strategically. Start with English subtitles turned on, and watch a short scene or a few minutes at a time. Read while listening. This helps your brain connect spoken and written forms of English. Then, watch the same scene again with subtitles off, trying to understand just by listening. If you miss something, rewind and replay. This repetition strengthens your listening and comprehension skills. Another powerful habit is note-taking. Keep a small notebook or digital note app with you. Whenever you hear a phrase, slang, or idiom that sounds interesting, pause and write it down. For example, in the movie The Intern, the character says, "You're never wrong to do the right thing." That's not just good advice, it's great English. Write it down, look it up, and try using it in your own sentences. You'll be surprised how quickly your vocabulary expands and how much more confident you feel speaking. Mimicking actors is another fun and effective technique. Choose a short clip of your favorite character or actor and try to imitate their speech exactly. Intonation, rhythm, pauses, and emotions. This is called shadowing, and it's a method used by interpreters and language learners around the world. It helps improve pronunciation, fluency, and confidence. If you're too shy to do it out loud, whisper along, or even repeat it in your head. Over time, your speaking will naturally become more native-like. Additionally, focusing on specific themes in movies can help you learn contextual vocabulary. For example, if you watch legal dramas like Suits, you'll pick up words like objection, lawsuit, and settlement. If you enjoy medical shows like Grey's Anatomy, You'll learn words like surgery, diagnosis, or prescription. This is called theme-based learning, and it helps you build vocabulary clusters that are easier to remember and use correctly. It's also important to keep your learning balanced. Don't just focus on vocabulary. Pay attention to pronunciation, cultural references, humor, and even background music and mood. It all shapes meaning. You might learn that saying seriously with raised eyebrows means disbelief, while seriously with a straight face means you're confident and assertive. These small nuances in tone and expression are often lost in traditional classrooms, but are vivid and unforgettable in films. Another tip is to watch the same movie multiple times. The first time, just enjoy it. The second time, study the language. The third time, test your memory. With each viewing, your understanding deepens, and your brain builds stronger connections to the phrases, intonations, and vocabulary used in the movie. You might even start dreaming in English, which is a great sign of fluency and progress. Some learners even create their own movie journals. After watching a film, they write a short summary in English, list the new words they learned, and write a few example sentences. This reflection process helps reinforce what you've learned and gives you a sense of achievement. You're not just passively watching, you're building your own English learning system. Now, let's talk briefly about motivation. Watching movies keeps you motivated because it doesn't feel like studying. It's relaxing, engaging, and fun. You look forward to it, and because the language is real, it stays with you longer. You remember how a character said something, how it felt, and what it meant in the scene. This emotional connection makes the language stick in your mind. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into a complete step-by-step plan you can follow to make movie watching your most powerful English tool. From preparing before the movie, to choosing the right clips, and even how to combine movie learning with speaking practice, you'll learn how to turn entertainment into fluency. To truly benefit from learning English through movies, you need a structured, step-by-step plan that turns passive watching into active, immersive learning. Let's start by organizing your movie sessions into 3 phases: preparation, active watching, and post-watching practice. Each phase plays a crucial role in helping you retain vocabulary, understand grammar and context, and develop natural speaking patterns. This is not about watching dozens of movies mindlessly. It's about learning deeply from just one scene at a time. Preparation phase. Before you even hit play, choose a movie that suits your level. For beginner to intermediate learners, it's better to choose movies with clear dialogue and everyday vocabulary. Animated films like Finding Nemo, Zootopia, or The Incredibles are excellent. These films are rich in natural conversation, emotional expression, and often include repetition that helps you follow the story even if you miss some words. If you're more advanced, try watching drama or slice-of-life films like The Pursuit of Happiness or Julie and Julia, which contain real-life dialogues, idiomatic expressions, and cultural references. Once you've selected the film, find a quiet place with minimal distractions. Use headphones if possible to capture the nuances of pronunciation and background sounds. Keep a notebook or a digital note app ready. You're about to engage not just in watching a story, but in a complete listening and speaking workout. If available, get access to the movie's transcript or subtitles in English. That will help you analyze the language more deeply. Active watching phase. Begin by selecting a short scene, around 2 to 5 minutes long. Don't watch the entire movie all at once. Break it down into smaller scenes or episodes. This focused method lets you absorb vocabulary, expressions, and context more efficiently. Watch the scene once with English subtitles to understand the general meaning. Then, watch again, this time pausing after each sentence or dialogue. Try to repeat what the actors say, mimicking their tone, rhythm, and emotion. This technique, called shadowing, is one of the most effective ways to improve fluency and pronunciation. If a sentence is difficult, rewind and listen to it several times. Write it down in your notebook. Look up any unfamiliar words or phrases. Write definitions, example sentences, or translations next to them if needed. Focus especially on collocations, words that naturally go together, phrasal verbs, and idioms. These are the elements of English that give it a natural sound and are often hard to learn through traditional study methods. For example, instead of just learning the word break, you learn expressions like break up, break down, or break into. After that, turn the subtitles off and try watching the scene again. Challenge yourself to understand everything just by listening. This develops your ear for English, helping you pick up subtle variations in pronunciation, intonation, and word stress. You might be surprised how much more you understand the second or third time you watch. If you still don't catch something, don't worry. That's part of the process. Repetition is your best teacher. Now try saying the lines along with the characters. Don't just listen, speak. This is where many learners fall short. They listen and understand, but never practice speaking. Use this moment to build your speaking muscles. Even whispering the sentences improves your muscle memory and confidence. Pause after a line and say it out loud. Focus on speaking clearly, naturally, and confidently. You can even record yourself to compare with the original and adjust your pronunciation. Post-watching practice. After the scene, review your notes. Choose 5 to 10 useful phrases or sentences and try creating your own examples. For instance, if the phrase was, "I'm not buying it," which means, "I don't believe it," you can create your own sentence like, "He said he was at work, but I'm not buying it." This process helps transfer passive vocabulary into active vocabulary, which means you're more likely to use it when speaking. Additionally, write a brief summary of the scene in your own words. Keep it simple. This reinforces grammar structures and helps you organize thoughts in English. Over time, these summaries will become longer and more complex, reflecting your growing fluency. You can also write down any emotions or reactions you had to the scene. For example, the main character looked so nervous during the interview. I felt the same way last week during my presentation. This makes the experience personal and memorable. To take it even further, try translating a few lines from your native language into English using expressions you just learned. This helps bridge the gap between your thoughts and the English language. You can also act out scenes with friends, classmates, or even by yourself. Don't be shy. Learning a language is like performing. You're training your brain and body to speak naturally in a new way. Many learners find it helpful to dedicate 1 day per week to movie learning. For example, Movie Mondays, where you study one scene each week. Over a few months, this habit will compound into remarkable progress. Imagine learning just 10 new phrases a week from movies. That's 520 phrases a year. And these phrases are not from a textbook. They're real, emotional, and memorable because you saw them in action. It's also worth exploring behind-the-scenes videos, actor interviews, and movie commentary in English. These materials provide even more natural conversation, often unscripted, which helps you experience English in casual, spontaneous forms. You'll hear how actors and directors use everyday English to discuss their work, which adds another layer of language exposure beyond scripted dialogue. One key thing to remember is not to stress over understanding every word. Even native speakers don't catch everything in every movie. The goal is not perfection, it's progress. If you understand the main idea and pick up a few new expressions each time, you're succeeding. Stay consistent, stay curious, and most importantly, have fun with it. Movies are stories, and language is the tool we use to tell them. In the next section, we'll explore how to use movies as a bridge to speaking practice and conversation, especially if you don't have anyone to speak English with in your daily life. You'll learn practical methods to turn passive watching into active speaking, using scenes, characters, and dialogues as your personal conversation partners. If you don't have a speaking partner to practice English with, you might think that improving your speaking skills is impossible. But with the right movie-based techniques, you can actually turn characters on the screen into your own virtual language tutors. The secret lies in using dialogue repetition, role-playing, and response training to create immersive solo speaking practice. You no longer need a classroom or a teacher to make real progress. All you need is a good movie scene, your voice, and a willingness to speak out loud without fear. Let's begin with echo speaking, one of the most powerful solo techniques. As you watch a scene, pause after every sentence or line of dialogue and immediately repeat what you heard, trying to match the tone, rhythm, and speed. This helps you develop native-like pronunciation and intonation. For example, if a character says, "I can't believe this is happening," you repeat the sentence aloud, mirroring the emotion. It might feel strange at first, but after just a few sessions, you'll notice your mouth getting used to English sounds and your brain adapting to English sentence structure. Take it one step further with role-playing. Choose a two-person conversation from a movie scene. Watch it once or twice to understand the flow. Then, mute one character's voice and speak their lines yourself while watching the other character respond. This creates a simulation of real conversation. You can switch roles and practice both sides. It's even better if you write down the dialogue beforehand and rehearse like an actor preparing for a role. This builds confidence, fluency, and memory. You'll not only be speaking, but also feeling the language as it flows naturally in context. Response training is another great method. After watching a question or a line of dialogue, pause the movie and imagine how you would respond. Let's say a character asks, "What are you doing here?" You pause and respond aloud with your own sentence. "I'm just looking around," or "I came to see you." The idea is to activate your brain to produce spontaneous, original language. Over time, you'll build a bank of useful responses for various real-life situations. This method makes speaking more natural and automatic, preparing you for real conversations in the future. Create a movie diary. After practicing a scene, take a few minutes to talk out loud to yourself about what happened in the scene. Summarize the plot, explain the emotions of the characters, or share your personal opinion. For example, in today's scene, the mother and daughter had an emotional conversation about growing up. I really liked how the mother expressed her worries. Speaking out loud like this every day, even just 5 minutes, improves fluency, grammar, and vocabulary usage in a highly personalized way. You can also use pause and predict techniques. While watching a movie, pause before a character responds and try to guess what they'll say. Say it out loud. Then, play the scene to see if you were close. This sharpens your listening skills, but more importantly, it forces your brain to construct English sentences quickly. This process is exactly what happens during real conversations. You listen, you think, you respond. Practicing this with movies builds the same mental muscles. Now let's talk about body language. When you practice movie scenes, mimic not only the speech, but also the gestures, facial expressions, and posture of the characters. This improves your delivery and adds natural rhythm to your speaking. Speaking is not just about words, it's a performance. That's why actors spend hours rehearsing tone, pauses, and movement. You can do the same, in front of a mirror or while recording yourself. You'll gain self-awareness, improve pronunciation, and sound more confident. Make it a goal to record yourself once a week. Choose a scene, practice it several times, and then record your own version. Play it back and compare it to the original. Listen for pronunciation, pace, emotion, and fluency. This helps you self-correct and track your progress. Over a few weeks, you'll hear your improvements and feel more motivated. You can even build a private speaking portfolio, a collection of your speaking samples, to remind yourself how far you've come. Don't worry about making mistakes. The purpose of speaking practice is not perfection, it's expression. If you hesitate, restart. If you forget a word, replace it. The more you speak, the more fluent you become. Fluency doesn't mean speaking fast or without error. It means communicating ideas smoothly and naturally. With regular movie-based speaking practice, your fluency will grow naturally over time. Let's talk about consistency. Set a daily time, even 15 to 20 minutes, for speaking practice using movies. Make it part of your evening or morning routine. For example, every evening after dinner, I'll practice one scene from a movie. Turn it into a relaxing, enjoyable ritual. Pair it with tea, soft lighting, and quiet space. The more pleasurable the habit, the easier it is to maintain. Learning through enjoyment is more effective than learning through pressure. You can also use mobile apps like voice recorders or speech recognition tools. Try reading movie scripts aloud and using tools to check your pronunciation. Many English learning apps let you practice sentences and get instant feedback. Combine these with your movie study for powerful progress. Or simply record short monologues. Imagine you're being interviewed about the movie and respond freely. What did you think of the main character's decision? This imaginary interaction sharpens both listening and speaking. Don't underestimate the power of repetition. Repeating the same scene across multiple days brings deeper understanding. You catch new words, notice intonation patterns, and refine your responses. It's better to master one scene deeply than to watch 10 movies without focus. Repetition builds confidence, and confidence is the bridge between knowledge and usage. Over time, you'll begin to notice that certain phrases from movies naturally appear in your speech. You'll use expressions like, "That's not going to happen," or Let me get this straight, without even thinking. This is the magic of context-based learning. You learn language as it's used, not as it's described in a textbook. You internalize sentence rhythm, word choice, and emotional tone by feeling it over and over again. In the next section, we'll explore how to build your long-term learning strategy using movies as a core tool, how to select the right materials, track your progress, and connect movie learning to your reading, writing, and overall English fluency. We'll also see how watching movies can deepen your understanding of culture, which is just as important as language itself. To make movies a lasting and powerful part of your English learning journey, you need to go beyond random watching and build a system that turns each movie experience into a step toward fluency. The first step is choosing the right kind of movies for your current level. Not all films are created equal when it comes to language learning. Ideally, you want movies with clear dialogue, real-life topics, and modern English. Romantic comedies, drama films, family stories, and everyday life genres are best. Avoid movies with heavy accents, slang-heavy gangster talk, or complex political jargon, especially in the early stages. Select a few core movies that you enjoy and are willing to revisit often. These are the films you'll study deeply, scene by scene. They should be rich in natural dialogue and emotionally engaging. Think of them as your language mentors. Each time you rewatch them, they teach you something new. You'll begin to notice how characters greet each other, ask questions, express emotions, and even pause or emphasize certain words. This kind of subtle exposure shapes your language intuition in a way that grammar drills never can. Create a notebook or digital document for your movie studies. For each movie, write down the title, key scenes, vocabulary, phrases you want to remember, and expressions you want to use in your own speaking. You can organize it by themes, greetings, requests, arguments, advice, humor. Add short summaries of scenes in your own words. This reinforces understanding and connects listening with writing. Over time, you'll build your own personal phrase book, authentic, useful, and alive. Track your progress in a measurable way. For example, note how many scenes you've practiced, how many minutes of echo speaking you've done, or how many phrases you can use in your own sentences. Use a simple chart or habit tracker. You can also set monthly goals like finish one movie every 2 weeks or learn 30 new expressions this month. These goals keep you focused and motivated. You're not just watching for fun. You're training your brain to absorb and use a new language. Combine movie learning with other English skills. For listening, you already have movies. For speaking, use dialogue practice, echo reading, and summary speech. For writing, try writing reviews, rewriting dialogues in your own words, or keeping a diary of what you learned. For reading, find movie scripts online and read along as you watch. This improves your reading speed and pronunciation. You're building a complete language environment around the movies you love. This holistic approach makes learning feel natural, not forced. Make your learning environment consistent. Choose a comfortable time of day, perhaps evenings, for movie practice. Use good headphones for clear sound. Adjust subtitles to your needs. Start with English subtitles, and as you improve, remove them or switch to transcripts. Eliminate distractions. Make it a ritual, a warm drink, notebook ready, and full focus. This habit creates a strong association in your brain. When it's movie time, it's also learning time. Routine supports retention. Let's talk about variety. While core movies should be repeated, it's also useful to explore new films every now and then. Watch a short film on YouTube. Try a different accent or setting. For example, after a few American films, try a British one. Then move to Australian or Canadian movies. This challenges your listening ability and gives you a broader view of English in the world. But don't do this too early. Wait until your foundation is strong enough to enjoy variety without confusion. Another powerful technique is joining online communities focused on learning English with movies. There are YouTube channels, Reddit forums, Facebook groups, and even apps where learners share scenes, discuss expressions, and help each other understand difficult lines. You can learn faster by learning with others. Share your favorite lines, ask questions about scenes, or even post your own reenactments. This builds confidence, creates connection, and shows you're not alone on this journey. Don't underestimate the cultural power of movies. Language is not just about words, it's about context. Movies teach you how people argue politely, express love, joke in subtle ways, or comfort a friend. These cultural elements are crucial. For example, in some cultures, directness is rude. In others, it's expected. Watching how characters interact teaches you social English, not just textbook English. You learn what sounds natural, what's appropriate, and how to navigate emotions through words. Use English movies to develop emotional fluency. When a scene makes you laugh, cry, or reflect, pause and speak. Say, "That was so touching," or "I can't believe he said that." Emotional responses connect your language brain with your real self. They make English part of your identity. This emotional link deepens memory. We remember what we feel, not just what we study. Let movies move you and you'll learn without even noticing. One advanced technique is shadowing entire scenes. Choose a 2-minute scene, watch it 3 to 5 times, and then repeat it aloud along with the audio in real time, like a simultaneous translator. It's hard at first, but powerful. It trains your ear, mouth, and brain to work together. You'll start predicting speech patterns and feeling the rhythm of the language. Over time, you'll develop the natural cadence of fluent speakers. Keep in mind that fluency is a long journey, not a weekend project. But it's not hard if you enjoy the path. Movies make the journey exciting. Each scene is a lesson. Each line is a treasure. Each character is a teacher. With movies, learning English stops being a chore and becomes an adventure. You start looking forward to your next session. You laugh, you think, you repeat, you grow. If you ever feel stuck, go back to a favorite scene. Revisit a moment that made you feel something. Watch it again, speak it again, let it refresh your motivation. English is not about how much you know. It's about how much you use. Use your voice. Use your ears. Use your emotions. And never forget, you're not learning English from a book. You're living it through stories. In conclusion, learning English with movies is not a trick. It's a transformation. It changes the way you listen, speak, and think in English. It gives you real-life context, emotional connection, and daily motivation. Start small, go deep, be consistent, and make it joyful. Your fluency is not in the future. It's in your next movie night, your next line repeated, your next bold sentence spoken out loud. Now it's your turn. Pick a movie, choose a scene, and begin your journey today.